Hello again, and welcome. You've reached Vinnie's channel. We'd love to have you hang out and hear something about Vinnie's Mounjaro journey. We're in the week 9 recap. Yes, it's been a little over 2 months and Vinnie's still sticking with it. Hang in there and Vinnie will share his information and experiences with you.
Well, hello again. As you just heard, we're going to talk about Vinnie's Mounjaro journey, and we have completed week 9. So this will be the week 9 recap of Vinnie's Mounjaro journey. So the numbers are a little disjointed here because this time around Vinnie's Mounjaro journey was interrupted partially by a trip to Oregon, and as such I was unable to get numbers off of the scale. Anyway, let me just tell you what those numbers are looking like, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. So back a while back on April 24th, 2026, which was a Friday, at 4:20 a.m., my weight was 301.3 pounds. And then there was a skip where, for over a week, I didn't have a scale. Even if I did have another scale, I don't think I'd be happy with that. I like to use the same scale each time, just to try for some sort of a continuity. In any case, for this last week 9 recap, on May 5th, I was back in town, and on Tuesday at 4:20 a.m., we were down to 297.6 pounds. On Wednesday, May 6th, 2026, at 3:25 a.m., we headed down to 295.6 pounds. May 7th, Thursday at 4 a.m., hit again 295.6 pounds. And then today, which is Friday, May 8th, 2026, at 5 a.m., it was a flat 296 pounds. Since the last time I was regularly checking in, it's about 5.3 pounds on a 2-week. And so typically when I go on vacation, I actually have been eating less. This time around, I didn't keep a food journal while I was doing that. It was just a little too much. So we stayed at a Marriott, Fairfield by Marriott in Springfield. And they had a decent breakfast each morning that was included in the price of the hotel room. And I was able to get quite a bit of protein that way. And then, we would go out after that. Maybe my wife likes to eat around 11:30, 12, 12:30, 1. So maybe we would go out and have something like that. And then afterwards, we might or might not have a dinner. But I've been pretty good about scaling back on my intake, sticking to things like eggs, salads, other protein like shrimp maybe, or beef. In any case, so those were the thrilling numbers for this week. A little bit of progress. Again, that feels positive to me, but as I've mentioned before, all these numbers and things are really not what you want to get excited about in the short term. It's going to be the long term. So even if they go up a little bit here and there, you're going to have the long term that you're looking for. And having said that, the next thing was the weird little tape measure around my midriff. That's a little harder to keep continuity on, because it all depends on where you place your hand and where you place your thumb on on the tape measure. So take it for whatever grain of salt. The waist on April 24th was 53 3/4 inches. Then on May 5th, it was 53 1/2. May 6th, we had 53 1/2. May 7th, it was 53 5/8. And then miraculously on May 8th, whatever my thumb and index finger did, it was 53 inches. So I don't know, what that's all worth or what have you. I'm going to give you a little bit more information later on about my steps. Now, I was only doing 4,000 to 6,000 steps a day prior to this vacation. But when you go on a trip like that, unless you have appointments every day, you really have time freed up. And I had some wonderful time to be able to go out and walk, and I did that. And so I'll give you some steps numbers in a little bit. At this point, I just wanted to say, getting ready now to move forward with the injection number 10. I'm going to place that on my left leg, closer to the outer side, a little bit of fatty area, and I'll get back to you. So this is the Mounjaro box that I'm with right now. As you can see, it's the terzepatide. This is a 5 milligram and 0.5 milliliter. As of now, what you see, messy there, huh? What you see is, this is what I call box 3. So 1 down and 3 to go. That means first 2 boxes, we utilized we used 8 injectors in the first 2 boxes and 1 in this, so that's 9 down. Getting ready to make injector number 10. And this is going to be it right here. All right, so as you can see, there's 1 more injector gone. That's right, so that means that I have now utilized 10 injectors, and we begin week 10. Now, I will say I misspoke. I did not use an injection site on the outside of my thigh. I went on to the inside, tried to do a little higher up. I had my wife squeeze my leg with the fat area there. That's her laughing. With the fat area there, and that worked fine. There was just a little bit of, white foam that seemed to appear after the injection. So, again, I hope everything went right. I've had that happen before. That seems to be okay. I haven't done any research on that. Well, excuse me if this video looks to be a little cockeyed. I think my tripod setup isn't 100% the way I would like for it to be, but we'll work on that. So anyway, I told you I'd talk to you about my steps, and before I went on the vacation, my steps were generally 4,000 to 6,000. I'd like to have, a goal of about 10,000 steps a day, where I actively try to get to 10,000. And then after that, whatever comes, comes. So in any case, for the recap on week 9, we're looking at last Friday, May 1st, I had 11,060 steps. On May 2nd, I had 10,315 steps. And May 3rd, we went down to 4,026 steps. That was a Sunday. That was the day my son took us to the coast of Oregon, and we mostly drove around the coast and looked at lighthouses and oceans and other cool stuff like that. But having said that, I was unable to get a lot of steps. On May 4th, Monday, it was 14,111 steps. Tuesday, May 5th, 8,467 steps. Wednesday, May 6th, was 7,443 steps. And Thursday, May 7th, we got 12,249 steps. So that just gives you an idea when you're looking at the interplay between, whatever weight loss there is, and you say to yourself, well, what is this guy doing besides Mounjaro? If I decide to do that, how might it impact me? And so, I'm not going out and being Mr. Super Jock or exercise man. I'm not getting out there and running. I think at my age, that's not wise anyway. It does weird stuff to your joints. But I'm not just sitting in the recliner doing nothing. As a matter of fact, on those days when I just sit in the recliner, I get up out of the recliner a lot and probably get, again, 4,000 to 6,000 steps a day during that. So these, the last week was a pretty good series of steps, and it may be that that coordinates to a slightly higher loss on the weight level. I was going to bring up another thing. Excuse me. Since I'm providing tips on what might happen to you when you're doing this stuff. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't even know if this stuff is related, but I have had sometimes a little feeling in my stomach, like I call it a roiling. It's a feeling like things are not 100% settled in there, and it feels like there's some kind of acid activity or something going on. I don't even know. But I have had that a number of times, and I did not mention that in previous recaps, just because it was never enough to, make me sick or say, geez, I don't want to do this anymore. But that has been there from time to time. I feel that by using the injector in my thighs, it's a little bit further away from my stomach, that there will be a little bit less of an impact in that way. So that's why I do that. If that's something that you're injecting in your stomach and you're getting a lot of roiling feelings like that, try injecting, in the legs or the arms, which I've done both, and they seem to be fine. And the other thing is, I don't know if it's even related. Sometimes I get these coughs. It's kind of a weird cough. It's not from a cold. I don't know where it comes from. I've had it, yesterday, a little bit this morning. I think when I went to bed, I had this cough that was just kind of irritating and wouldn't go away. Again, I don't know if that's related to the Mounjaro, the taking of the Mounjaro, but that's something to think about. If you experience that, please, feel free to make some comments on the notes, what type of side effects you might be experiencing if you're using Mounjaro. Well, this feels like it was a pretty good session. I thank you for being with me on my Mounjaro journey, particularly here on recap of week 9. And we'll see you again in the near future.